Alright, got the new front hair set up. As you can see, this is where the new back plate goes, or how the back plate's made. And it basically keys more or less into the plate right here, like I was stating earlier, and use that, and I can use that to relatively get the hair mounted properly. And then all I gotta do now is I gotta build the back section of it, and then get all that put together, attach the hair to the actual face, and then more properly mount the face to where it needs to be. I also went and actually added in the wooden dowel rod to go from the chest cavity all the way up into her face, and more or less reinforces the whole bottom end, so the face doesn't just start wobbling and whatnot. So tomorrow I'm going to hopefully get a good chunk of the back piece done, or at least get a good chunk of it done to where I can actually just hot glue everything together. But this is where I'm at so far, and it's still creepy, but it's not as bad as it was, which does help. But this mouth area is still an issue, so I'm still going to look into a way to somehow try and at least somewhat resolve it. I did a little bit more work right here, and what I did is I actually went and snipped off the little piece right there at the edge where you can see right there, and it basically releases the upper lip, so I can semi go more properly molded to the way I want. Right now I'm still in the process of figuring out if I actually want to keep it like this or not. But one other thing I do need to do is I need to go and pucker this out some, because as you can tell, it's just a flat plane when it's supposed to be a normal, when it's supposed to be like this. So there's also that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pucker this out, and then I'm going to spend maybe an hour or two in Sims 4 and go to bed. So I'll come back tomorrow when I get the back section of Rim's hair made and whatnot, and also do a little bit more reinforcements on the hair, and of course the autofocus being stupid. Alright, got some more of the backing done. I haven't gotten the first round, not the first round, but the first row of hair spikes done. I still got to do the other half of the first row, and then there's going to be 2 more rows. So these little spikes, they're going to take a little while to build, but building these spikes is a lot more quicker than building the fingers. But it's still going to be at least a couple more hours. So actually, it's going to still at least be quite a few hours before I get these spikes fully completed. And I still need to go in there and properly get them to be at the right distance apart. And as you can tell, I'm not properly able to speak because I am, well, sleepy. But the hair more or less sits properly now, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish up all the spikes on the back of the hair, get all the hair properly mounted to the head, and then properly mount the head to the body. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it so I can actually pop the head off for transport, just like I did on a few of my previous builds. That way so I can make her more compact when I go to transport her to my anime conventions, which again I highly doubt will happen this year, but I still want to build this model out to where I can actually properly transport her around and whatnot. So with that said, I'm now off to bed. Alright, so I got the hair more or less completed. I just have to do the 2 little bands here and here, but that can easily be done off camera. Since it's already past 5 a.m., I want to go to bed. I just want to quickly do a little update to show where I'm at. As you can tell, I got the hair fully complete. I got fully attached to the face, and I've more or less closed everything up. And unfortunately, there really isn't much I can do with the mouth. But I'll most likely towards the end probably just take my hot glue gun and try and remove this bulkiness, right? Probably try and smooth this out some to make it look a little bit more cleaner. But again, there's really nothing I can do about it, unfortunately. Once again, when it comes to the mouth of these characters, I've never been able to properly get it correct. But maybe down the road I can fix this. I don't know. Well, I'm sitting back watching these two dumpster fires. I'm watching Flamenco and I'm watching Memology because Memology isn't going to be around for much longer, at least his main channel. I'm currently on his second channel. And I'm currently also building Rim. So when it comes to Rim, I got everything set up for the head now. Granted, I still have to add in all the accessories and whatnot. But for the most part, the actual physical portions that are needed for Rim, like these little pieces here, like I was saying, the last part are now done. I got the head properly mounted to the body. As you can see about right here, I have just a simple, I have a roughed up piece of PVC piping, and it's just some duct tape wrapped around the wooden dowel so it can make a relatively snug fit. I have a nice big gob of hot glue down there to keep it from going down. And I have a little piece right here to keep it from moving around. And that's really all I need to do to make sure the head doesn't just come off and whatnot. It will still move around and whatnot because it is still going to move and whatnot. There's nothing I can do about it, but it's a lot more sturdy and a lot more cemented into the body. So next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to build this arm. Now it's currently 3 a.m. and I am getting a little tired, but since I'm building the arm, it shouldn't take as long as like building the head or building the hair or building this stuff, because it's relatively simplistic, like building the skirt. It's just going to be tedious. So I will come back when I see fit. Alright, so the shoulder was a little bit more difficult to build than I thought. Or not difficult, it's a little bit more tedious. But it is coming along just fine. But since it's now nearly 5 p.m. not 5 p.m. a.m. now, I'm going to go to bed. And what I found out building this section is I know how to build this section here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to print out the pieces for this section right here, and then attach them to this side here, so we at least have something to work with. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to build the rest of the actual arm. And then I'm just going to hot glue it directly to this. And the reason why I'm going to do that is because when it comes to the way the arms are going to be placed, there's going to be a cut here, and I'm going to bring the arms down like so to where the arms are like this, and going like this. And actually, what I need to do is I need to get the mobile game out again and show the actual pose I'm going for. Again, for reference, this is the pose I'm going for. And luckily, the way this model is designed, I can actually see exactly where the cuts need to be. Granted, I'd like to find that USB-C to HDMI dongle so I can actually blow this thing up on my bigger TV here, but I lost that little dongle. But again, this is the pose I'm going for. So I still got ways to go with her. Especially considering I still got to add in all the extra little floof and whatnot to her to make her more proper. But again, she's coming along just fine. So what I am going to end up doing is that once I get this arm completed, I'll stop the uploads and just stop there, because it'll be way too far in, and I want to basically come back when I get Rim fully complete. So sometime later, hopefully tomorrow, when I'll actually get to a point where I can actually edit this whole thing together and actually upload it. So I will come back when I get this side of the arm complete.
More maybe like content.
And you know what? I forgot until just now that they're actually up there. I completely forgot.
5-hour kill stream. It's a shit show, but at least I have something to watch to keep myself entertained as I put Rim together. I'm currently in the process of building this section right here. I'm on the last two slices, and once I get this section done, then I'm going to put all my effort into building this whole section right here. This section took a while because I had to constantly, once I get done cutting and folding, I have to dislodge the body and manipulate her all around so I can actually get everything to properly attach and whatnot. But once I get this side done, then I'll be able to just build all this out in just one go without having to touch Rim's body. And then once I get all this built out, all I have to do is just put one of the little tabs in there, and then just make sure I have it all nice and hot glued, or not hot glued, but all nice and properly leveled. And then I just take a bead, and I just take the hot glue, and I just put a bead right around it. That'll be more than enough to hold it down, because once I go to actually shape everything, I will be actually physically having the arms hot glued to the torso of Rim so they won't go anywhere. So, I will now unmute the kill stream. I'm still going to have GloomTube up and running, and I'm going to continue building on Rim. But like I said, I got a nice little shit show to watch. And it's a glorious shit show.
What it looks like. By the way, chat going at me because I said she. You know what? I like Sophia, so.
The boogaloo is still going on. But with that said, I've now gotten the other arm put together. I've yet to build the rest of it, which is the intersection right here and the actual arm and hand. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to call it for today because I'm tired. But and again, I now finally gotten to a point to where you can actually kind of get a general idea of how everything's going to go. And again, with the pose I showed you earlier, I'm just going to be cutting into the shoulders here, and I'm going to be cutting right around here or so because that's where the arm bends, I believe. If I'm interpreting how this if I'm interpret. Ugh, you can tell I'm tired. If this is where the actual joint is, I forget the joint's name, but if that's where the joint is, I'll be able to bend it there. That way, so I can bend it down and just have her arm just go like this, and then have it go like so to where it fits properly. And most likely, what I'll end up doing is I'll either end up just cutting this whole piece off, or I'll just bend it to where it actually fits properly. But for right now, this is all still in the stages of getting put together and figuring everything out. So since I'm relatively close to calling, or not close, but since I'm getting close, well actually I am technically getting close to this thing being complete, I'll most likely have a complete video done in the next week or so. So I will be uploading this as part 7, and it should hopefully be the last upload to the build log, and the next upload in about a week or so should be the complete video and whatnot. So yeah, and who knows where the boogaloo will be at the time that happens. But at least I have something to keep myself entertained with as I build these things.